Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday Morning Movement. I realized I should have checked my hair a little bit before starting because I definitely have morning hair, but that's fitting with the theme of the class, so we'll, we'll say it's fine. We're going to get started here in about a minute or two. I encourage you to grab some water, maybe grab some tea, grab some coffee, grab a few yoga blocks and something soft to sit on. It would also be helpful for one of the exercises we're going to do today to have some sort of pad or something a little squishy for your knee, because we're going to spend a little bit of time on our knee doing something that kind of puts some pressure through there. Good morning. Let me know if there's anything that anyone wants to work on in particular. I kind of have a little something planned, but if there's something that anyone really wants to work on this morning, we can always add that in. All right, I'm going to give it 1 or 2 minutes, grab a little bit more coffee, and then we'll get started. Good morning, Mark. Glad to have you here. I don't know if you just heard, but I was just asking if there's anything in particular that anyone wanted to work on. Plan for me today was to do, we're going to do some breath work, focusing on exhale strength and getting a little bit more efficient with using oxygen in our body. And then we're going to do some mobility work focused on the feet, the hips, and then maybe a little bit for the thoracic spine. So let me know if that sounds good. If there's anything else that you want to work on, I'll be right back. Perfect. Great. Works for me. Let's go ahead and get started. Find a nice, comfortable seated position. You can sit cross-legged. You can sit like me with feet tucked underneath, butt elevated on some blocks. Want to make sure that you're able to get your spine nice and long and you can feel your hips really sitting onto whatever surface you choose. See if you can lift through the crown of the head, pull the chin back slightly. We want to feel as if our head is weightless, just kind of floating on top of our body. We're going to go through 2 breathing practices. I believe we did these on Saturday as well. We're going to start with cyclical breathing, where essentially what we're doing is we're breathing in and out through our nose, and we're going to try to breathe in for about 6 seconds for our inhale, and then exhale for about 6 seconds. So this exercise is really designed to just get our diaphragm moving through its full range of motion. So the inhales will be very long and very deep, and the exhales will be very long and deep. And then after a few rounds of that, we're going to transition into another breathing practice that I'll explain when we get there. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and exhale. Inhale on my count for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale on your own count and exhale on your own count. As we do this, I encourage you to close your eyes and really tune in to the sensation of your diaphragm moving down when we inhale and then moving back up when we exhale. Good. All right, we're going to move into a different breathing practice. This one might be a little intense if you've never done it before. So I'm just going to give you an image to work with. I want you to think of our lungs as bellows, right? And then we have a fire, okay? So as we exhale, we're pushing those bellows down and we're increasing the intensity, the heat of that fire. If we do a quick exhale, that fire just goes and then kind of fizzles. In this practice, what we're going to do is we're going to try to extend the exhale as long as possible. So we're slowly pushing that bellow down, keeping a nice stream of air and energy going towards that fire, keeping that fire nice and warm, nice and hot for as long as possible. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to take a quick inhale through the nose and then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. You keep counting on one exhale for as long as you can until the only thing coming out is a whisper where you're like 45, 46, 47. And once it's inaudible and there's no air left, you're going to relax your muscles in your core, allow the air to rush back in, start pushing the bellows as slow as you can. Okay? So I'm going to start, I'll do one round with you where I'm counting, and then I'm going to mute myself so that you don't have me counting in your head with you counting different numbers at the same time. Okay? So nice big inhale. Exhale as you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. I'm going to mute myself. Hopefully you get the picture now. Nice elastic inhale. Exhale as you count for as long as you can. Relax the muscles. Inhale comes back in. And good. Whenever you finish whatever round you're on, go ahead and relax. Return to a more natural rhythm of breathing. This exercise is really good for kind of getting us to expand and open up those ribs and tap into that kind of elastic quality that our muscles can have, right? When we really exhale and contract and then just relax, that inhale feels so natural and it brings in so much more air. Hopefully you enjoyed that. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to our butts. We're going to go legs wide, hands behind us, nice neutral spine, actively reaching our knees towards the floor. So we're opening the legs. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, see if you can maintain a neutral spine and bring your hands a little bit closer to your hips. If that feels uncomfortable, walk the hands back a little bit. Okay. Nice. One knee at a time, making sure that we keep both hips planted on the floor. You're going to bring one knee in towards center, internally rotating that hip as far as you can, and then open back out. Even as I rotate this hip in, this knee is still driving towards the mat. Good. Next time you bring the right knee in, you're going to bring the right knee in and you're going to swivel over so the left leg is facing forward. Okay, let me adjust my camera here. All right, so we have left leg in front, right leg behind. We want about a 90-degree angle in both knees. We want our spine to be nice and straight and neutral, okay? So we're lifting up. If you need to, you can lean a little bit over to the side. Maintaining that nice neutral spine, core engaged, belly button in towards the spine. Lean forward, hinging at the hips, and resisting your body weight by pressing that front leg into the mat. Okay? Go as far forward as you can. Bring your hands to the mat. Take a moment here just to feel that stretch in the hip capsule. We're going to activate this stretch and turn this into a real mobility challenge. So maintaining a neutral spine throughout the whole process. I'm going to start by driving my front leg into the mat. Hands are going to come to the shoulders. I'm going to press myself up using that front leg to initiate the movement. Then I'm going to lean forward, hinging at the hips, trying to go as far forward as I can, maintaining a neutral spine, lifting the tailbone up in the back, and then pressing back up. Really use that front leg, driving into the mat to allow yourself to lean forward and to press yourself back up. If this position is uncomfortable for you to sit in, again, try leaning over to the side or put some cushions underneath your hips. That'll help. Let's do one more. And come up. Good. Find a nice comfortable position here just to relax for a moment. Hands in front. We're going to work with that internal rotation again, this time for the back hip. This will be a little bit more challenging than the one that we just did. This is going to fight gravity a little bit more, okay? So we're going to lift that foot in the back. Try to lift it as high as you can, and then slowly lower back down. Good. Lift. and lower. I like mobility work because it looks very, very simple. And then when you actually get into doing it, you're like, whoa, I feel my muscles contracting and engaging in places I've never felt before. And one or two more, really lift. Try to get that foot as high as you can. Good, and relax. Let's open up back to our middle position here. Take a moment, shake the legs out. When you're ready, twist over to the other side. Again, if you need to lean over to the side, if you're feeling any pinching in that back hip, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, try to be up, nice neutral spine. Check to make sure you got 90 degrees in both knees. Lean forward, maintaining a neutral spine, hands to the floor. Take a moment here just to stretch. Take a sip of coffee. Good. Let's activate the stretch in the same way. Drive the front leg into the floor, hands to shoulders. Press yourself back up to neutral. See if we can have all this motion coming from the hips as opposed to the spine flexing and extending. Good. One or two more, and then bring your hands to the mat and lift the back foot. Really squeeze that hip, lift it as high as you can. Two or three more. Good, and release. Go ahead, shake that out. Hug the right leg into the chest. Make sure we get that nice neutral spine again, so see if we can pull the chest in towards that leg. Going nice and slow, we're going to do rotations with the ankle. See if you can draw the biggest circle with your toes possible. And you want each rotation to take maybe 6 to 10 seconds. So we're really trying to explore that end range of motion in all directions. Nice. Feel free to switch directions. Sometimes it sounds like popcorn in the morning in my ankle. Some days not as much. And good. Let's go ahead and switch feet. Good. Switch directions. And good. Relax. All right, we're going to do a little bit of work for the ankle. This is a fun one. So the way we're going to get into this position is we're going to have, let's have our left leg tucked beneath us, right leg in front. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can come up onto a block here in between. Otherwise, try to sit all the way down. I want to see if I can shift my weight forward so that I'm really getting some nice dorsiflexion here in this front ankle. Okay. So this is going to be some work here to work on this end range here in the ankle. This is really applicable to any sort of deep squatting or motion where we need to really flex the ankle. So what we're going to do in this position is we're going to drive the ball of the foot into the floor. Okay, so I'm pressing my toes, pressing this kind of first row of knuckles there down into the mat as hard as I can. Good. Now I'm going to do the opposite. Now I'm going to try to pull the toes off the floor, try to pull the entire foot towards my shin. Okay. And then relax. Press. So pressing the ball of the foot into the mat as hard as you can. And then release and lift. So you're not going to see any movement, but what we're doing is we're changing which side of the leg, which muscles we're using. So when we're lifting those toes, we're engaging the front side, we're pulling that knee forward. And then when we're pressing the toe in, we're engaging the calf in this lengthened position, getting it used to being stretched. Good. Press the ball of the foot in hard as you can. Release. Good. Pull the toes up. Pull the foot towards the shin. Good. Relax. One more. Press the ball of the foot hard as you can into the floor. And relax. Nice. Take a moment, maybe stretch that out. And we'll switch to the other side. So this is something I recommend everyone does before they squat, especially if you have tight calves. Do this. That'll give you a little bit more range of motion for the knee to go forward, allow you to get that hip down without butt winking or putting more excessive load through your spine. All right, so on the other side, you should know the pattern by now. We're pressing about 5 seconds, relaxing, and then trying to lift. Switching in between those two extremes, pressing and lifting. Good. Last one. Give it all you got. Good. And relax. Go ahead, come onto an all fours position. Maybe take a moment to stretch one leg out, rock back and forth. Massage that calf. All right. As promised, we're going to do a little bit of work for our thoracic spine. One of the best things for your spine is to give it some twists. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this an active twist. I'm going to lift my right hand off the mat. I'm going to thread it underneath my left arm, and I'm going to delay putting that shoulder down for as long as I can. I'm going to bend my left arm as I reach as far as I can reach, and then bring the shoulder to the floor. Nice. To unwind, I'm going to press, lift the shoulder, unwind, and then switch to the other side. Okay. Thread, try to delay putting that shoulder down for as long as possible, really twisting, actively twisting through the spine. Switching back and forth. Inhale to neutral, and then maybe practice that long exhale. Just one thing to check while you're doing this, see if you can have the tailbone tilted up a little bit. What we want to avoid is this, right? You want to lift that tailbone, nice long spine. Good, one or two more. And then we're going to come on to our stomachs. This is one of my favorite ways to work on back extensions because I find that it's very gentle and I can really feel the engagement without getting tired really quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up into this Sphinx or baby cobra pose. I want you to engage your back in this position. See if you can maintain the height, lift the hands and arms, slide them forward, reach, and then lower everything to the floor. Slide back, engage, lift, reach, try to grow as long as possible as you lower. Inhale, exhale. Nice. Maybe two or three more, and then we'll move to another exercise to finish. Once you finish your two or three, we're going to move onto our backs. This is one of my favorite things to do. Since I know who's in my class today, I'll tell you the real name. I call these the Jesus twists. I don't know if this is politically correct because I call it that because you look like you're on a cross, but don't tell anyone, okay? All right, so arms in a T position. You're going to bring your right knee up and in towards your chest. You're going to drop the knee across your body. And what we want to do is we want to let momentum and gravity do all the work. So I'm trying to delay lifting this opposite shoulder. I'm letting the weight of that knee pull and twist my spine. My right arm's going to come overhead, and I'm going to untwist. I'm going to do the opposite to return to neutral. I'm going to bring the arm overhead, leading with the shoulder, letting the knee follow. Okay, and then over to the other side. See if you can let everything be really loose. Really just letting that motion that you generate with the knee travel through the spine and up and out through the fingers. Good. Go ahead and finish whatever spiral you're on. And when you're ready, you can come up to a seated position. That's going to be the class for today. Really appreciate everyone for tuning in. I'll be here again on Wednesday. We'll mix it up. We'll still do some breath work and mobility work, but it'll be focused on different things. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully that was a nice way to wake up and start the day. Nice and gentle, nice and effective. And you can save your hard working out for later. I'll stick around for a minute or two if anyone has any questions. Then I'm going to get to doing some statistics and physics homework. Ooh. And I thought doing the morning movement was supposed to wake me up, but it looked like it made my morning hair worse. So I don't know what that says. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you being here. I really do. I'm going out of town this midweek to do a little birthday getaway in Santa Barbara. Yeah, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90 question. What's up? Thanks, Dad. Have a good one. I know there's a little delay, so Mark, here we go. Lifting the back leg, I'm trying to rotate the femur, but keep the point of the hip in the same spot. Lifting the back leg, trying to rotate the femur, but keep the point of the hip in the same spot. Yes. Yeah, this one's tough. So I think what you're saying is you want to try to keep your hip bone, so the pelvis, you want to keep that where it is, and we're just rotating the femur in the hip. Yeah. Versus like pulling the hip or moving. Right. This versus that. Yeah, that is the goal. It's challenging though, and for me, it's easier on one side than it is on the other. One that you might like that I didn't do this class, but I really enjoyed doing is for external rotation. This I find is really, really good for my hip. So I lie down on my side. I have the bottom leg 90 degrees. I pull the foot into external rotation, and then I try to hold it there. Hand, give it a little assistance, try to hold. Yeah, so with mobility work, It's really good for, I mean, the whole point is that you're trying to isolate a specific joint and only move that joint, um, and to decouple it from any other compensation in the rest of the system. I like to use this a lot with clients, especially when I'm assessing how they move, because you can really see where they're compensating. It's like, okay, every time they move their hip, they're actually moving from the back. Um, Also good for, circus artists to see, like, where are you putting your load? Are you rotating your hips, or are you using your lower back to do it? Um, but then, of course, the next step is to bring it back into to integration, right? Because the body does move as a system; it doesn't move as a bunch of isolated parts. But this is a good way to, yeah, work on all the isolated parts and then bring them back together to a more complete, stronger sum of the parts. Cool. Thank you, Mark. Going out of town this week, but next week let's do one of those bike rides along the LA River. I'm looking forward to that. All right, I'm gonna jump off. Thank you everyone for tuning in.